Alright, I'm going to do another video. I've got a variety of things I've listed here, and I'll probably do more than that. There's a few things I wanted to explain first about Swishmax that I use to do graphics and all that. I'm using Swishmax 3. There's obviously more modern versions than that. I use a lot of old software. There's often no reason to update it, or sometimes upgrading or updating can be a bad thing. But I'm using Swishmax 3. If you want to get that, you find your own way of getting it, or speak to me in private or something. But I can't talk about that on YouTube anyway. But you need at least Swishmax 3 to be able to use my files, which I can give to you. I can give you my files personally. Okay. First we'll open up Swishmax, and about Swishmax. There we go. Swishmax 3 version from 2009. So this is almost 10 years old. Let's just start a blank movie. New movie, doesn't matter. It's the same. This is fixed a few default things that I like to set. 1920, 1080. Let's just make it 800 by 600. Okay. Now the first thing on the agenda is buttons and non-button clicks. But first, I think no, I'll just do the. We need to remember there's some image things I needed to explain. But I'll just go to buttons and non-button clicks. Well, let's do two kinds of buttons. Or three actually. Button, and let's do. You can do anything as a button. Let's copy the text button. Okay. Now what we do is this text here, it's just text. This is just a rectangle. And here's text and a rectangle. What I can do is I can select it here. Left click one, hold shift and left click the other to select them, to group them. As you can see, they're both selected. Right click, group as movie click, shape, button, or right. Let's do button. Now, with every object here, even the scene, you got layout and you got script. You can apply a different script to every single object and scene. Everything. Your own, even a movie clip or everything. So we'll get to movie clips later. So let's select button. Add script, events, button, on press. Now when I do that, it selects on press, but look, you can do multiple things at the same time, or one on rollover, on key. You can do on different keys, letter H, or different symbol, all kinds of things you can do. So hang on, there you go, on press. Now as you see, it says on press. The action script says on press, and it's got bracket and bracket. In between these two brackets is where the code that you define is going to, what it's going to do. Now, it doesn't. You don't need to understand code. Don't be confused. It's really simple. You can do this all through this menu here. You can do practically anything. You don't need to worry about understanding. You just need some basics, just a basic idea to be able to understand. You haven't broken it. So on events, button, on press. What? On press, what? We haven't defined anything yet. On press, nothing. Nothing happens on press. So it's a script that doesn't do anything. But we need to define what it does in the brackets. And all you do is, as soon as you go to unpress, you just go back here and go movie control, go to play a frame in a scene, or stop, go to stop, or all kinds of things. You can make a sound play, you can go to a web link, open a web link in a browser, which you have to be tricky about how to do. So what we'll do is you can go to and play a frame in a scene, so you can skip to a specific place, but let's just do a sound. On the button, when you press the button, a sound goes. You can apply different scripts. You can make a sound go. You can make a web page open, and you can go to a different frame and scene at the same time. All at the same time. It's all fine. But okay, let's play sound. As you can see, all this box here, it's empty, and it's only everything's grayed out except for import because we don't have a sound. So I'm going to show you a way to get a sound if you don't have sounds on your computer. Well, let's minimize this. Let's open Audacity. Or open minimize. Okay, you need to set up Audacity if you download it. It's free. You set up your recording device and test it. So as I'm speaking now, there's nothing coming out because I'm actually recording sound on my phone and I'm recording video on my computer. So it will only record my computer, not my voice. So what we do, you can go find type in sound effects on Google and just play them. Anything you can hear on your computer, you can record. Let's just go YouTube. Let's do scream. Woman screaming. Here we go. Okay. We'll stick Audacity on record. Play. I don't know if you can hear the scream from my phone, but alright, that's enough. Press stop. Now you can see where the sound starts and where it fades out and where it starts again. What we do, left click on this, let's click at the start of that and we'll hold left click and drag all the way there and just press the delete key. Now let's go here and drag the same thing and delete. Let's click this to go to the start. Now hold control and zoom in with your mouse roll key. Now as you can zoom in, there's a bit of extra non-sound here, so let's delete that as well. Let's zoom back out. My mouse key doesn't work properly. I can't zoom back out properly. It doesn't matter. But there's good enough for the sound. So what we'll do is we'll go File, Export Audio, Scream. Just call it Scream as an MP3. Okay. Only take a sec to do. Oh, it's already done, I think. Yeah. Alright. Close all that. You've got Scream. I'll play it. There we go. Just ripped the Scream off YouTube. Let's go back into Swish. Under Play Sound, let's import one. The only way you can import a sound is if you select a play sound script so you can get to the menu to import it. SC, there we go, Scream. There we go, now we select it. Now, once you select it, click Sound Effects. You can make it loop, you can have fade in, fade out, all kinds of stuff you can do. But what you really want to do is details. Now, for most sounds, unless the sound's really distorted, you want to do this. Go to one channel, mono, and go all the way down to 11 kilohertz. As you can see, it sounds exactly the same. You know, people want to use over 128 kilohertz MP3s, but you play it at a lower rate, and you won't notice the difference. So people who want really high quality MP3s, they've got all this file size and nothing to show for it. So on press, we play the screen. Now what we can do is we can go to sound effects and make it loop 999 times. And it will add all that script there. Save you for you, and you can choose the volume. You go to 50% volume. Let's just go back and we'll just go make it play once. So on this button, if we press it, it will play a scream. So let's test it in player. And there we go, it works. What happens if we press it over and over? Now that can be a problem. There's a ways you can make things stop sound and then play again. But you have to make a movie clip for that, and we'll get into that later. So let's do something else. Let's go. Oh, not import. In here within the brackets, we'll go to another script. Browser. get URL. Now let's go google.com. Alright, just copy that link. URL, that. Now window, this is important. You want to do blank. It would be the default best one, because sometimes, depending on what the framework or where you are, it won't necessarily work. So on blank, we'll actually make a blank page and then load the web link in the blank page, so it will always work. So you want to choose blank. Now watch this. Well, it's not. No, why isn't it doing that? Maybe if I export it to exe, it might be blocking it. Let's try that. Movie 1. There we go. It was just blocked it in the player, that's all. So in the exe it opens. Let's close. See, it opens a web page. It's strange where that works. Anyway, so you can do all kinds of things. You can actually make it go to a movie and play, go to and play a frame and a scene, a target, a different movie clip, or a different scene. Yeah, all at once. You can do it all at once. So let's just leave that button. Now here's that shape and the text name button. These aren't buttons. These are just normal objects. When you can do the same thing on press just as a button, but if it's not a button, this is a really annoying thing, but it's only minor. If it's not a button, you go to the text, or we'll just go to the text one. Add script events. Instead of button on press, we go to self on press. On self event on press. Just a little bit different grammar. And we can do the same thing. Watch. Play sound, scream. We won't do the web link now. That works. The button works. Now we'll go. That works too. And you can do the same thing as a shape. You just have to differentiate between a button and not. Now here's some cool things you can do with the button. Now it's got an up, over, down, hit state all in one. Let's close all that, the tree there, and so it's all like that. Right click, and we can do, let's say has separate overstate. Now we'll maximize it again, and it will have an overstate as a copy of exactly the same stuff that's there. So let's just take the shape, and we'll make it green for an overstate. So watch this. As soon as we go over the button, it changes color. You can do some really fancy stuff with buttons. And you can do a downstate or hit state. Just do downstate, don't worry, it's about hit state. So when you press it, it'll change color, different color as well. You can do all that. And you can remove the overstate by just fixing up the tree like that and just clicking overstate, and there we go, we just deleted it. So what's next? There's just some basic stuff with button and non-button links. Appears and disappears with timelines. Okay. Timelines. Now this up here, this is a timeline. Now, if we go here, what have we got? 25 frames a second. So at frame 25, that's 1 second. At frame 50, that's another second. At 75, that's another second. 100, that's another second. Now, you can change that frame rate to whatever you want. 25 frame rates is generally okay. If you want to do really smooth animations and you want to do 60 frames a second, I even do 40 or 50, but it's okay. It's compatible with your TV or monitor. You won't notice the difference. But if you're doing smooth animations, you do 30 frames a second, you will see some frame skippy judderiness. So do 60. So we've got 25 frames a second. Okay, let's delete all that. We'll start again. Let's make around about a kind of circle. Let's make it smaller actually. That's like that. Now considering this is a timeline with different frames and different seconds, that's at frame 1. Let's go to frame 1 on the object, frame 1, not the scene there, but the frame. We'll right click and there's all these menus come up and you can do all these kind of things. You can fade in, fade out, zoom in and out, slide, blur, repeat frames, appear into position. Look at all that. Disappear from position, looping continuously, one off, return to start, core effects. Most of this stuff you'll never use. Let's do our own custom animation. We'll just go move. We can go place, remove, move, and by default it'll be 10. Let's make that to frame 50. It's 2 seconds. Now, I want you to look at the bottom corner here. Now, so long as I have this object selected, I have this selected as well, the effect selected. Now, if I move all the way down here, the transform panel on the bottom right will be grayed out. But if I go to the last frame, suddenly you can actually type into it, because on the last frame it lets you decide the destination of this move command. Now, on this move command, you can change all this stuff here. Now, there's another way you can do it. You can just double click it and it takes you to effect. But that menu is not so good. It's not a good way to do it. You can do move left by or right by, or move up or down by. That you can do that for different things, but don't worry about that. Just click outline on there, ignore the effect. We do it through here on the bottom right. So let's click frame 50 at the end so we can move it. Okay, let's move to 500. Let's go 700. And let's move to 250. Let's lock aspect ratio so it doesn't stretch too wide or too thin, and so that the width, if we change the width or the height, it will change the other, and it will change the whole size and the whole scale. Let's change it to 75. So it will get smaller, it will move a little bit down, and it will move a lot to the right. Now if we animate, test it, whoops, what's going on there? Oh, okay, I've messed it up. Let's unclick the red thing, let's go, drag it here. There we go. I accidentally set the default position. I had to change the default position, then move it to there to get it to go there. Now it will move. As you can see, watch in the bottom right, and the stage, original place, destination, and here's the different frames where it is on different frames. The test to see the animation works. So if we click this, we've got a movement. Now you'll be able to see it 25 frames per second, as you can see the frame skippiness. That won't be like that if you do 60 frames per second. But usually you won't be doing animations like this anyway, so it's not worry. And if you're making GIFs, you don't want to have it too many frames like that anyway. So anyway, we've got a movement. It's dodgy, but it'll do the job. Now, what it does is it goes to frame 50 and it just restarts. The whole scene restarts. If I was to place movie control stop at the end, it will go to the end and stop. Let's Control Z to go delete that. What we'll do at the end of this, we can go right click and we can remove. So at the end it will disappear, but it will just replay as it is. It will just replay and start again anyway. But let's go all the way to frame 100 and we'll do place. Now, just as with the move command, you have to select this, and all this comes up red, so you can actually change the position. You can type in exact X, Y coordinates. X coordinates are from left to right, Y coordinates are from up to down. So, but you can actually, see this is red as well, so you can actually just drag it manually all the way here. And let's say, okay, we're close to 100, we'll make it, even it out to 100 and 450. We can get it. We can move things in exact locations. So what will happen is it will move across the screen and it will disappear. A couple of seconds later, it will reappear down there. Well, let's do another movement. Let's do another 50 frames, and we'll make it. Now instead of typing it out manually, you can do the same thing. You can go to click all that at the end there, just as I did. And we'll make it go over here. And if you want to custom edit, just make it just exactly right, we can do it like that. So what will happen, it'll go from up here, it'll move down there, then it'll disappear, then a couple of seconds later it'll reappear here, and then it'll move over there. So watch. No, what's going on there? Let me have a look. Oh, I've accidentally moved. Let me do that again. There we go. I've accidentally changed the original position again. I don't know how I did that. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, it'll work now. There we go. And it'll just restart. So this isn't a button, it's just an object. So what if we were to make and on self event press? We'll make, okay, let's make that scream. If we click it, it'll scream. Play sound, scream. Check the details. It's all preset to a low file size. Alright, so what happens? If we can catch it and click it, we make it scream. So we just got a little game there. Click the ball and it screams. But we can, I'll just give you another example of what we can do. Let's make a health meter. And what we do is select this to zoom in to the exact position. Then we select it, we Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Now look over here, we just got another two in the same location. Okay, so what we do in the top one, we'll do a line. We'll make the line blue, and we'll make it, let's say 5. Let's make it thick, 10 pixels thick. You can change all dotted lines and all kinds of stuff too, all kinds of weird stuff you can do. You can't see it so much in this anyway, but just make a normal line. That's on the top, and on the one on the bottom, we'll make it green, and what we need to use is an anchor point here. This here in the bottom right is an anchor point. Now, as you can see, this cross here, that's its default set the anchor point to the middle. So where this object is 687.55 on the X axis from left to right. Pixel 687.5 out of 800. That's referring to this anchor point in the middle. You can change that anchor point. Just you want to click this thing here anyway. Leave it on all the time. Now if I change this, watch, the numbers will change because the anchor point's in a different position. Usually you want to have it in the center. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do it down the bottom. Anchor point there. It's moved down to the bottom there. And what we're going to do, we're going to make it a height of just 1 pixel. Whoops, I actually, just undo that. I had the aspect ratio locked. I'll fix that up, undo it. A height of 1. Now, oops, so the top one, let's get rid of the solid and just make it empty, so it's just an outline. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to make an extra timeline with this. We should have done that before. I was just name them outline health bar ball. So we've got outline and health bar, and we've got a ball. So the outline and health bar are pretty much the same thing. We're going to do the left click outline, hold shift, left click health bar to select them both, and we'll right click grouping, group as movie clip, and this will be in its own timeline. Now we've got a timeline here in the main scene, but we can create movie clips. They've got their own timeline that can function independently. We can make a button that can make you go to a timeline in a specific place in a timeline, in all different timelines running in their own movie clips, like different videos inside videos or something, you know. So in this movie, see we've got a different timeline going there. What we do, we'll go to health bar, we'll do a move command, and we'll go all the way to 100. Now we'll select here with the end selected, and we'll make it, hang on, how 511.25. We can adjust that to 500, but don't worry about it. We'll just go 511.25. Select this to get that. At the frame rate, having height 511.25. And what will happen is this health bar will slowly fill up. as we go through the scene. Now, it's not working yet, but watch. The health bar slowly fills up. So, what if we make it so that if we click the ball, the health bar goes, or the meter, whatever, goes up? Well, watch this. We go on clip. Now we've got a on press on the ball. We've got play screen. Well, let's do something else. Let's name the movie clip meter. Right? It helps to name these things. Now, okay, we'll go back here. Now, instead of just a screen, we'll make it screen, but we'll go movie control, go to and stop frame. No, you need to select which timeline. Now we can click here in the target. As you can see, parent meter. Parent.meter. Now that's the meter movie clip. Parent.movie. You go to frame, go to label, skip frame. Let's go skip frames. Let's go skip frames, 10 frames. So every time, what's going to happen is every time you click the ball, it's going to skip 10 frames forward on the meter movie. So it starts out here, as you can see the meter. Now 10 frames, it will go there. So if you click it, it will go from 0 to there because it's skipping 10 frames in the movie clip. Every time you click, it's going to go up 10% or so. So watch what happens. Oops, hang on. What I need to do is push the stop command. Instead of doing a stop command on every single frame, we've made this play to, go to and stop, so it won't automatically play. I just have to place a stop command at the front. So watch, the meter won't automatically go up. But every time you click the ball, it will. There we go. It just went up. It went up again. Went up again. Let's make it go up. So, when the meter fills up, we can actually make it do something when the meter fills up. Let's go to scene 2. We'll make another scene, insert scene. And we'll press this button here to center the scene. This button here to center the scene is really important. So if you want to put something at the center of a scene, let's watch this. Let's go over here, all the way over here. The selection tool. Now, if I was to Control X to cut and paste, it's not going to go into the center of the stage. So what we do is we cut it now, press this to center, and paste, and it goes in the center. That's a good way to use that tool, that thing all the time. But let's get rid of that. Let's just do some text. You killed the ball. Just put it around the center. So on the end of the meter, we'll go right click on the scene here, right on the scene. Right click, movie control, go to and stop frame. Now that's a different scene, not just a target, it's a different scene. So let's go to scene, and it's named scene 2. So let's go to scene 2, frame 1. Now, just by default, you want to put a stop command on every scene just so it doesn't skip scenes, because if you make all these different scenes, it will just, and you've got no timeline on it, it will just load one frame and it'll instantly go on to the next scene. So if you have 10 scenes like that, it will just rotate through the scenes rapidly, just go rapidly from 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. So it's good just by default when you make scenes to put on frame 1 stop. Just go movie, click up here on frame 1, movie control, and stop. So what will happen is when the meter goes to 100, when you fill the meter up, it will go to scene 2, frame 1, and stop. And on scene 2, frame 1, it says you killed the ball. So let's try it. Okay, that didn't work properly. I don't know what just happened there. I didn't actually click it all the way. Let's try that again. Okay, okay, I forgot. This is a mistake that, it's good that I made this mistake. See, when the ball goes all the way down there, it doesn't restart the scene. It actually loads the next scene. I forgot to do something. This is important. Instead of going to the next scene, which will automatically do, at the end of the scene 1, we'll movie, go to on play frame 1. Which, if you go to play frame 1, it will go to frame 1 of whichever timeline you're in, which is scene 1. So what'll happen, instead of skipping to scene 2 at the end, it will just reset. And now the only way to go to scene 2 is to fill up that meter. Okay, we got a problem there. I know what the problem is. Yeah, this is a problem I got with my game. What is happening, it's going, say, to 145, and then it's skipping 10. It's going to 155, and there is no 155. And it's just dead. It's broken. So what we do... on this one. So we need to copy this same script on frame 100. We need to copy it on every line up until 110, so it doesn't, if it was here and it skips 10 frames, it will actually skip to a frame that has the same command. It's annoying. So you can actually you can right click, do the same script over and over through that, or you can just do it this way, just highlight and copy, enter. Like that. And let's just change it to 101, 102. Little bugs like this happen all the time. You just have to work out what's wrong. Some things that should work don't, and some things that shouldn't work do. But usually it works fine. Let's do 110. Now, even if it skips off into any of these frames here, it should work now. I might have got something wrong. There we go, it works. Because I've rewinded using these controls, there's a reason why you want to disable the menu like I did in my previous videos. Because if you mess with these controls, you can mess up any animation or interactive thing you make, and it freezes. So watch, when the meter goes up to the end, you killed the ball. So I can give you a code to make this yourself. I can just make this for you, and you can work out how it works yourself. But that bug here that I needed to make all those frames, it might be confusing. It's just a really annoying bug in the way ActionScript works. It goes into a dead frame that doesn't work. Another bug you have to be aware of is if you say click the ball, and we just say movie control go to and stop frame 2. Frame 2. Now just to say you're already you go to frame 2 of go to and stop frame 10. Now what will happen, this will actually make the ball teleport to frame 2 of the, watch. No, it's not working, hang on. Let's go root. Because it's in a different timeline. It's in, yeah, it should work now. There we go. You have to do root sometimes if you want to do it on, if you want to make something load on onto a frame on the main scene. Otherwise, you have to navigate target through parents, underscores and all that to find the actual timeline that you're referring to go to. So, all right, let's do this again. It'll go stop to frame 2. So it's not working there, but usually, if you are already on, let's say you're already on frame 2, and you click something that tells you to go to frame 2 when you're already on frame 2, what it will often but not always do, which is a bug, it will add +1 to what you're on. It'll actually kick you to frame 3. You got to be careful of that. I can talk about that later and explain how to work around it. It's a really annoying bug. So you tell it to go to frame 2 when it's already on frame 2, and it will kick you to frame 3. And then sometimes you go to and play a certain frame and scene, and it won't play. It'll go to and stop. So you have to add a script to say, on this frame, go to next frame and play. But that's just a minor bug. It's nothing to worry about until you actually encounter this kind of bug with the kind of code that you write. Then you learn about it. Don't worry about that for now anyway. But I know I was a bit messy explaining this, and I ran into a couple of bugs. But this is just simple. Now, when we get to you killed the ball, you don't want the scream to continue because it's a bit weird. What we do on scene 2, on frame 1, when it stops, we can go sound, stop all sounds. We can go stop sound scream, or we can stop all sound. Let's just stop sound scream. It makes it stop. So you can stop specific sounds, or you can stop all sounds. I usually just use stop all sounds. We just made a little game there, just really easy. Be creative with these ideas and think about what you can make. Okay, appears and disappears. That's only part of what I was doing. Okay, but I didn't do just appears and disappears. I did moves. You can make things up, place, remove, place, remove, and you can, on each place, you can make it go on different. You can go to different places. Let's do in this place. We'll go over here. Watch, it'll teleport and disappear in places. Watch. See? You can make things place and remove in timelines. You can make it. You can make this timeline go all the way to here. And you go move your control and stop, so it will go all the way to there. And on that frame, you can make a text, proceed. And on that frame, we can make proceed appear. And we'll go, on proceed, we'll go add events at self. On self event, press, move your control, go to and play, next frame and play. I'm not sure if that frame 1's going to mess with it, but they shouldn't. So what'll happen, it'll go to this, it'll go all the way to here, and if I click, and then proceed will appear. If I click proceed, it will proceed. It will just go to the next frame, 62, and it'll just keep playing. So watch, it'll stop. There we go, it stops. Now watch. No, I need to define, sorry, I need to define what. I'm going to go to, let's go to root again. You have to define roots sometimes. Oh, hang on. I know what I've done. Let's try it again. Click it. It'll continue. And we'll go to the same thing. Proceed will appear. Stops. Let's click proceed. And it'll continue. You make things stop and play. You can make things stop and play within different timelines. Now I'll show you. Let's just delete all this. Let's just name it 111. Scene 1111. Okay. Let's make another ball. This is just to show that how you can have different timelines running at different times. Now let's convert this. Let's do group, convert. Group and convert mean the same thing if you're referring to one object, but usually if you're selecting more than one object at the same time and you want them grouped up in one thing, you need to do group. Otherwise, it's going to convert each one into its own movie clip or something. Let's do convert into group or convert into a movie clip. Now, we can, in this movie clip, we can do an animation. Let's do a looping animation. Pistons. Now, this isn't, look, it just makes it move up and down because it's just one object. It's not going to do it. These effects won't work. It'll work good with text if you apply this to text. But if you've got a single object, it's not going to work so well. There's a way around that. Watch this. we break it up into pieces. Break into pieces. Set to, by default here, 5 to 5. And it's actually, now it's a group of its own into different pieces, all these different pieces. So if we loop pistons again, loop pistons, now it's going to be doing something really cool. So we've got a movie clip. Now, on the main scene here, it just goes to frame 1 and stop. But on the frame 1, this movie clip will load, and it will load its own timeline in a loop. There we go. So what if, on the main timeline, let's get rid of stop and scream, so the timeline will play, and on this, we'll make the movie clip move on this timeline. We'll make it move from here to here. You've got two timelines going. You got the movie clip doing the loop by itself, and you actually got a whole movie clip moving itself in another timeline. So let's be really fancy. We'll go to group, convert to movie clip. Original objects, yes. You want to keep the original objects. It should move. Let's just test it, see if it worked. Okay. Now let's move that up here. It's moving all directions at the same time. It's got some really weird shit going on there. So you've got different timelines affecting each other. You can do some really interesting stuff. So what we got next? Timelines. So I'm hoping that you get the idea of disappears. How a place, remove, and we can make it, when it disappears here, we can go movie control stop, and we can put some text in just like before and say go to blah blah blah, and you can make it go to the next frame, or you can make it go all over here. You can have all different points in time in the timeline. You can have different things existing and not existing, in and out of existence on different timelines, and different objects, and you can make anything you want appear or disappear at any time. So you can do anything with that. Think about it. I'll give you an example of my logo gen. Now, this is a timeline. On this particular frame of the timeline, all you have is the graphics of that symbol. Now, you click it, this menu comes up. Now, these are actually different parts of the timeline. Let's just say on frame 1, the menu is hidden. It's removed. On frame 2, if I click it, go to next frame. On the next frame, it appears. Now the same thing within another movie clip. If I click effects, I load another movie clip on a different frame where this appears and disappears. I click that X, and it goes back to where I was. So you can be really creative. You can do all kinds of things. All this is built by the same concept, with fills and get the idea. Simple ideas, you can do amazing things with them. So what's next? Sprites, movie clips, timeline. I pretty much just covered sprites, movie clips, timelines. You might be a little bit confused about movie clips, just with the idea, the concept of different timelines running independent of each other and inside each other. Go over this video and see if you're confused. I can explain it to you in person if you need to, even better. It's not that complex. It's just a strange idea. If you're alien to all this, it might be a strange idea, but it's really simple to understand. Okay, what's next? Layers, positions. Okay. Now if you see, I'll give you layers. We've got 2 layers here. We've got 2 objects, meaning 2 layers. Now, the text is actually on top of the movie clip. Let's click that to selection tool. Now, so if I drag this over here, the text goes over top of that. But what if I pull the text underneath it and I move the text? It will go underneath it. So here's an idea what I can do. I can do this. Get rid of the line. Let's make it solid. Let's make it white. Now I can selection tool. You can't see it. Now I can select it. You can actually see the outline of here. I can select it here, or I can select it because I know where it is. And what if I do this? It's hidden. So I can make a different frame in the timeline. I can place this white space over the top of the text to hide it. Instead of having the text appear and disappear, actually I can actually have this white hiding it. I could make it fade in or fade out, or I could make that fade in or fade out. So look, you won't see it. Let's move it to there. It'll watch. So we just did, we just made it do that. Strange things you can do. But okay, now positions, coordinates, angles, anchor points, and everything. I've covered anchor points a little bit. Each movie clip, each object, everything has an anchor point. Now this default is the center. Now you can manually move it you want to yourself, your own position. That can sometimes be handy. But from here you can select all these: the center right, top right corner, top left corner, top middle, and that will anchor point exactly the position that you want it in. Let's just change that color to green. So anchor point is the position that you're in here. Now if I go and cut and paste it in the center, it'll be at X400, which is 400 out of 800 across, and 300, which out of 600, which is in the middle down, from top to bottom. Now let's just say you want to get it in the exact position. Now you want to get it, let's go to make the anchor point to the bottom right. And you want to make that bottom right 5 pixels, let's say 20 pixels away from each edge. Because it's 800 by 600, you want to go to 20 pixels off that, 780 by 580. And there we've definitely got it exactly in position, 20 pixels away from the corner. It's all even. Now, because we're on the anchor point in the bottom right, if I change the width to 50, it will stay, this anchor point will stay, it will cut it from that anchor point. See how it will go from that to that. Anyway, if I had the anchor point to the top right, it will cut the bottom out and it will go up. So if you want to reshape something, you need to be careful of that. So that's from the bottom right. Let's go width 200 by 100. So let's say we want to get things just right on the page. You want to do the same thing here, 2 pixels away. All right, let's take this. We'll go to the bottom left. What pixels does it go? 580. So 20 pixels away from that on the bottom right, which we select the bottom right or center right or top right, whichever on the right, we'll make it to 580. Now that's exactly 20 pixels away from that. Sorry. 560. There we go. Now this is how you get things fine-tuned. And because we're anchoring the bottom of it is on position 580, and that's on position 582. You want to do another one, copy and paste, and we work out. Now that should be at 340 by 580. Now we can make a grid like that. We can make it, whoops, what did I just copy the whole thing? And we can do the same here. If you can calculate the math in your head, you can get it just right without having to change angle points. 780, 340. We can get things exactly where we want them to be. It's good when you're building menus and things like that. If you want things exactly right, you just use that. And if you want to move them to a specific position, just as I said before, how to do it. Although we just applied all those effects, it's going to actually accidentally copied the effect along with it, so it's going to do something really weird. Okay, let's delete all this. Let's do a rectangle, and we'll change the angle. Now this rotation, this on the bottom right here, this is the angle. Let's go to 45 degrees. All right, let's go back, make it 0. Let's make a move. Let's cut that script, get it rid of it. Okay, let's make it of this object move. We'll make it move for 30 frames, and at the end there, so we can select it, let's make it move to 45 degrees. What'll happen, let's not just move it to 45 degrees, let's move it position and angle. So it'll move the position and angle, and it'll move like that. Or get rid of the effect, and we can just place it on frame 1 on a position of 45, and because there's no timeline, it'll just stay on that, and it'll stay in position 45. Let's say we go to frame 40, we'll place it and we'll make it angle of 20. And then we'll do another place, and we'll do 90. See, you can do all kinds of stuff. Now that's the angle. Let's delete all this effects. Okay, so now let's do a gradient so we can show something. Okay, now if I do 180, it goes upside down. No, I won't do that. I'll do an image. I'll go to Google Images. I'll just get a random image. Dude. This dude. Some random dude. You're a superstar now, dude. Whoever you are. Let's change it to 200. Okay. Let's get rid of that. So. No, it's probably not a good one. Let's do another one. Let's do this one. Because it's better for what I'm going to do. Okay, let's make it to 200. Okay, so his face is facing left. Now what, if we go upside down, it goes upside down, right? If it's 180 degrees, goes one upside down. If we go 180 that way, and we go 180 that way, we can mirror it. If you do 180 by 180 this, you mirror it. Let's go 45 of that. See, that changes 20, 90, 120. And 180. That's how you can mirror it. So there's that, and whoops. That's how you can mirror an image. You just do 180 by 180. Now you can do that in a place command. Just do a place command. Select it all out, and you can make it 180, 180. And let's do place here, 0, 0. We can make it mirror. Well, it's not. I forgot to place it originally. Hang on. There we go. Face in front. There we go. See, we can mirror it. Okay, what else we got here? I'm pretty much covered positions, layers, and everything. You know, the whole layer thing. We're all on different layers on top. Some are around top of each other. Let's say this. We can drag it all the way up to the top. Simply in simple layers, it works like that. You can do it this way. You can go arrange, bring to front, or bring forward, or send back, or send backwards, send to the back. Shortcuts to do it instead of dragging and drop. I mean, if you've got hundreds of items on here, you can't literally drag it all the way down, because you'll get weird shit happens. You'll scroll out of where you're trying to move it. So use that. Use when you got heaps of them. Use arrange, send it back, and all that. All right, I'll do something else. I think I'm up to that topic. Moves and effects like explosions. Yes, I've done moves. So let's do. We'll place him there at frame 1, and let's on frame 60. We'll do and disappear, explode down. Now this won't work because it's just a single item. It'll just do that. Let's load it. Explode down. Now you can do this with text. It looks differently with text with images. So what we'll do, we'll break it into pieces just like before. And on frame 60, we'll explode down. Now you can do your own custom animations. These are just, what you got, appear into position, disappear, loop continuously, all kinds of stuff. So it will explode down. See, look at that, that's cool. Let's make it. You could even make it so that when, watch this. Let's go make this all over to here. We'll make a movie control stop on frame 1. So it will stop on frame 1 and it'll stay like that. So what we'll do, we'll make a button. We'll just name a text as a button. We'll make this to frame 2 on button. It's not an actual button, it's a text, so it's on self events. On press. Movie control, go to and play frame 2. So it will stop at frame 1, and when you click the button, it will go to frame 2. And on what happens on frame 2? It explodes. So what will happen is when you click the button, it will explode. Watch. Okay, I think I need to select. Let's try that route. There we go. Every time you click the button, make it explode. Now think about these animations and how you can make them into games and really complex websites, even though Flash is on its way out in 2020. Screw them, you can still do really cool stuff, and you can make EXEs, you can make graphics, and who knows, you can still make it forced to load Flash later on after 2020 anyway. Just install Flash Player anyway. So you experiment a lot with these appear, disappear, and looping continuously. You can do a lot of really cool stuff. Well, what's next? Moves and effects. That's pretty much covered. Combination of all the above. I've pretty much done the combination of all the above. Now, copy and pasting advanced code. Alright, so I'll give you an example. I'll use the balls one. Let's just make that into a solid. Let's just copy this here, here, here. No, actually, we'll just get these out of the way. We'll make a whole bunch of them. Get them out of the way. Okay, now we'll do this here. Now we'll copy the code. This is how you don't have to know advanced code. All you need to know is how it works. Most of this code I've made so that you can simply copy and paste. Now these builds one I've got in another video. Look, they react all in this really cool way. Like you're going through them like magnets. Now what this is each one of these shapes is just a ball that I've drawn out of different gradients and everything. If I zoom in, I've actually made this just with the simple drawing tools by drawing a sphere and drawing another oval, making a gradient and just making it look cool like that. I did that just simply with the drawing tools. That's not some texture I've downloaded off the internet. I actually drew that. So what we need is to understand the same script is applied to every single one of these objects. Well, all we do is just choose one of these balls, copy the Control C, highlight Control C. We'll go to movie 1 again, and we'll just take, which one? This one here. Go to script, copy the code. Now, Okay, there's something going on here. I might not be in the right action script. SWF10. Why isn't that working? Let me have a look. I'm not sure what I've done there. Let's just copy some magnets directly and see what happens. Whoops. Yeah, there's something wrong here. Normally it works. I did it in the other animation before. Now I'm going to check the ActionScript version. It might be the ActionScript version. SWF6, that's what it is. Okay, so this is in ActionScript 2.0 or something. So what we do, the ActionScript 2.0 worked a lot better, and things were a lot less complex. It should work in 7 actually. Let's see. No. ActionScript 6. There we go. It's working in ActionScript 2.0. Unfortunate that Adobe bought out Macromedia. Macromedia made Flash. Adobe bought them out, and there's a big conspiracy behind it. Flash was awesome. Even today, you can do amazing things with it. All the corrupt industry on the internet wanted them shut down. Adobe bought them out for the purpose of shutting them down and establishing their own crap software as a monopoly. And they made a little bit of money off Flash and quickly shut it down. They bought it out and shut it down. It was their plan to begin with. Little bastards. So they made ActionScript 3. They ruined ActionScript and made a lot of things virtually impossible, if not impossible to do anymore, in the name of security, which is all bogus. And they broke a lot of things. So this is in ActionScript 2. I'm pretty sure it's in ActionScript 2. So you need to go to Modify, maybe Properties, go to SWF6, which is in ActionScript 2. So 7 and above won't actually work with that magnet code. Most of my code is in ActionScript 3 though. So what if we do the same thing as a builds thing? Let's move all of these close to each other. Let's delete that one. And we'll take the original. We'll just copy the same code on every object. And we just made an interactive magnetic. Now, there's a problem here that you should be aware of. If you convert that group, or convert these into a movie clip, watch what happens. It doesn't work properly, because it's only in reference to the script in them only applies to the timeline they're in. Now, the size of the timeline. Now, this movie clip, look how small it is. It's not the size of the whole stage. You can see the box here. It's only in reference to the whole stage. You need to have it on the main stage outside of a movie clip so that it can react to the whole size of the stage. Then it will work. But they're already like that by default. They're already on the main stage. So, other code that you can do. Here's the code section, the code samples that I've made for you to use. All this is pretty copy and paste stuff. You don't need to understand it really. Glow effect. Now, glow effect, I'm not sure which ActionScript version it's in. Okay, that works in ActionScript 2 and 3, I think. Or it might only work in 3, I think. Yeah, it might actually only work in 3. So here's, click the glowing text, click that. Unfortunately, this is a problem you have to deal with. Let's delete that. Let's do another one, and we'll do a script glow. Now, it won't apply because it's in ActionScript 2. But if I go to ActionScript 3, now I'm not sure if it goes 7 or 10. We'll try 7. No, it won't work in 7, but it should work in 10. There we go, it works in 10. You can see it's got a yellow glow around it. You do the same with text. Let's apply the same text. Now this is, as I've said in the other video, this hex code just here is the color. These numbers can change the effects of it. Do the same thing with text. Put a glow to it. It's good for making graphics. Okay. What's next? Copy and paste. That was the last of it, wasn't it? Okay. Anyway, this is just some ideas to show you what you can do with some more advanced and scripting and stuff like that. Experiment. You use ad script. You can experiment with all this stuff if you want. But I just gave you the basics of what you can do. Load external data. You can load external data. Just have a look at these things and what you can do. Main ones you do on button or self onto and press something happens, and move your control, play, stop. There's some more advanced stuff which you really need to for these things you need to understand how the action script works. You really need to understand code to use these, but you don't need them. You can just copy code from somewhere if you need to. You never want that stuff anyway. So basically the stuff I've showed you, you can do practically anything with just the basic tools I've given you. Alright, I'll finish this video for now. I might make another video for more of any detailed stuff if anyone has any questions on anything specifically they want to do. Alright, that's it for now.